Well, investigators say it is still too soon to determine a motive for the mass shootings in San Bernardino.
But information released by law enforcement points more toward terrorism as a likely component. A search of Saeed Farouk and his wife Tashfeen Malik's home and car turned up thousands of rounds of ammunition, assault rifles, handguns, pipe bombs, and tools to make explosives. We've learned that a man who authorities are still searching for bought 2 of the rifles used in the shootings that killed 14 people and injured 21 others. The first officer to respond to the scene described what he saw.
It was unspeakable, the carnage that we were seeing, the number of people who were injured and unfortunately already dead, and the pure panic on the face of those individuals.
Officials say 2 pistols and the 2 rifles used in the shooting were all bought legally in California. Farouk and Malik both died in a shootout with police. Washington is still trying to figure out if the California shooting was something personal or an act of terror, or possibly even both.
Yeah, since that shooting, the deep divide on gun control being exposed yet again. Tracy Potts is keeping an eye on the political fallout.
Their loss is our loss too, for we're all one American family.
But not all on the same page when it comes to dealing with violence.
What gives us the right to hold moments of silence when we do nothing to act upon the cause of the grief?
Rand Paul wants concealed carry permits in D.C.
It's nearly impossible to be able to have a gun with you if you were to see an active shooter.
California's Barbara Boxer is urging lawmakers to outlaw automatic weapons.
These weapons of war, they just don't belong on our streets and in our communities.
On this vote, the yeas are 45, nays 54.
A Senate vote to keep people on the terror watch list from buying guns failed. Preventing gun sales to the mentally ill failed. Expanding background checks to gun shows and internet sales failed. Officials say it's still unclear what motivated the California shooting.
We don't know, as we stated earlier, whether this is workplace rage or something larger or a combination of both.
I'm convinced it was a terrorist attack, that these people were inspired by ISIS.
You look at the names, you look at what's happened, you tell me.
It's becoming clearer that we are dealing with an act of terrorism.
But not clear at all what, if anything, Washington will do about it. 2 Republican senators sent a letter to Homeland Security demanding the immigration history of the shooters. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
That failed proposal on expanding background checks just mentioned was the same proposal rejected by the Senate back in 2013. That was just months after 20 children and 6 educators were killed in Newtown, Connecticut. Currently, the checks are only required for transactions from licensed gun dealers. Well, the victims in Wednesday's shooting have been publicly identified. Now, most of them worked in the same county public health department as the gunman who showed up with his wife and sprayed the hall with gunfire. The victims ranged in age from 26 to 60. Memorials and prayer services are scheduled throughout the weekend. And of course, we will continue to follow this developing story, and we'll work to bring you any new information as it's released. Just stay with us on social media, and of course, go to our website, KrisTV.com.
The funeral for a fallen officer in the Colorado Springs Planned Parenthood shooting will be held today. Officer Garrett Swazi was killed in a shooting with the suspect last Friday. He was 44 years old and a 6-year veteran with the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs Police Department. Thousands are expected at his funeral today, which is open to the public.
5 students in the 5th grade who were detained for supposedly planning to set off explosives at a New Jersey high school have been released back to their parents. Authorities say the students brought a fake explosive device on a field trip to Clifton High School. Now, according to police, that plan fell apart when school administrators came across some of the details that had been written down on paper. Officers say the device was made out of vinegar and cinnamon and did not pose any danger.
Today, a bond hearing is scheduled for a Rockport businessman charged with continuous trafficking and sexual abuse of a minor. The case against David Wills involves a girl under the age of 14 from the Brownsville area. Wills' attorney told Chris 6 there's no physical evidence of any abuse and believes the criminal case is the foundation for a civil lawsuit later on. Wills remains at the Nueces County Jail with a bond of $1 million. Also scheduled to appear in court is Leonel Pena. He's accused of beating his girlfriend's toddler, baby JJ, to death back in August. Pena is charged with capital murder. Baby JJ's siblings were placed in foster care after that incident.
A man and woman are clinging to life this morning after they were involved in a rollover crash on the Nueces Bay Causeway. Witnesses tell police a pickup truck traveling northbound lost control just before Indian Point and rolled over, striking a concrete barrier. An 83-year-old man and woman were trapped in that wreckage. They were both taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Investigators trying to figure out why the driver lost control.
Police this morning are searching for a person who shot a police officer in the face in Aberdeen, Maryland. The shooting happened as the officer was responding to a call for suspicious activity. The officer was a 10-year veteran of the department. He was flown to shock trauma and is in stable condition. Police are still looking for the gunman. That's a look at what's happening now. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much. Well, we here at Chris 6 like to call the days leading up to Christmas the season of hope. And so we want to fill you in this morning on how you can help us help the Toys for Tots drive.
And that's because we've partnered with several generous sponsors to give every child in the Coastal Bend a gift under the tree this year. And that includes Angel Bright Home Health. And as promised, we want to check in with Dr. Brad Hoffman, who has details. Hey, Brad.
Talk about the spirit of Christmas. If we could just pan around the room here, look at all these good-looking people. They're enthusiastic, they're fired up, they're ready to go. They are here early in the morning. Why they're here is because they are going to help Toys for Tots. They're going to help fill up these boxes with toys for underprivileged kids. The great thing about these boxes, kids, is that they will go to underprivileged kids right here in Corpus Christi. These toys are not going to go out of town. They're going to go to families right here in Corpus. Blanche, you're the owner of Angel Bright. How good does this make you? Look at this. This is absolutely incredible.
That says it all. This is wonderful. We've been very excited to be here. The Season of Hope for Toys for Tots. As soon as we mentioned that we were going to participate in this, the staff was standing right behind us to make sure that this happened, and they have been very successful in doing this for us.
From 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock today, come on down. They're on Holly, and they will be, you can see the signs are going to be outside with the signs flagging you inside here to put toys inside this. This is absolutely amazing. You guys do much more than this, but this isn't uncommon for you guys, is it?
No, it isn't. We try to help the community as much as possible, and we encourage everybody, please bring an unwrapped toy. It is important that every child, as many as possible, have a gift this Christmas. Please come and donate.
What a success story. Blanche is an absolute wonderful woman helping out the community. And look, I mean, you can tell the enthusiasm just by her employees here. It's absolutely incredible. Toys for Tots. They are located on Holly, as I said. Come on down and bring a toy. We can take all the toys that you can give us. I'm Dr. Brad Hoffman. Thanks so much, Blanche. God bless you. Back to you.
All right. Thank you much, Brad. Appreciate that. You know, we've got some incredible partners in this Season of Hope campaign. We've seen this week alone, Brad has been at Minuteman Oil Change.
And Santa was changing the oil.
That's right. He was at the Gulf Coast Federal Credit Union where he was stealing. No, he
was trying to open the safe. He was trying to open the safe.
Yeah, and now here at Home Bright Health. And we're going to show you some more of those next week because we've got several other partners that are going to show up and help us do this. So we really appreciate all of you who are chipping in and certainly those of you who are donating for Toys for Tots.
You bet. All right, folks, we got a great looking weekend just in time for all your holiday celebrations. We want you to enjoy them. Just know that it's rather chilly as you head out the door. We're at 42 at the airport. More coming up in just a moment.